The politics of late-night TV moved to the left, and which daytime TV blonde bombshell will win this week's Underwood Award? All of that up next on After Hours. Greetings, I'm John Phillips. Stephen Colbert, an open lefty, is taking over for David Letterman on the CBS Late Show. Letterman is also a lefty, but not as overt about it as Colbert. With Jay Leno out at the Tonight Show, the only reliable source of jokes at the expense of Democrats might be gone. Which leads to the question, have the politics of late-night TV shifted to the left? The short answer is yes. Conservative viewers now have no obvious home after the local news at 11. But this leftward lurch by the big three networks creates an opening for someone somewhere, whether it's Fallon on NBC, Colbert, or Kimmel, changing the tone of their own politics, or the Fox News Channel or Fox Network bringing Leno back or finding a new comic with red state appeal, or even a cable network making a serious play for middle America. Somebody will step in to fill the void. Whoever does this, I predict, will benefit in the ratings, and if nobody steps up to the plate, the big three will continue to hemorrhage viewers. Here to weigh in on this is the After Hours panel. She's the host of the Tammy Bruce Radio Show, which you can get online at tammybruce.com. You can also read her at washingtontimes.com, Tammy Bruce. He's a fair-minded civil rights defense attorney who you can get online at clearthecourt.com and listen to on Talk Radio 790 KABC in Los Angeles, Mr. Leo Terrell. And he's the PJTV contributor from his home studio in the great state of Pennsylvania, whose political satire books are available at Amazon.com, Mr. Scott Ott. And Scott, we'll start with you on this one because this is a story of certainly CBS picking someone to take over for David Letterman, who has a team, who has a side, who's picked a certain political philosophy that the entire world is aware of. Is this going to turn off red state viewers?
Well, I don't know. There are a lot more options than there used to be. It's not, people aren't just tuning in to late night television. They have all kinds of time shifting opportunities to, record things. And if they want to watch something they truly enjoy, they can do that during that same time slot. They can go on the internet, they can go on their iPhone, they can do whatever they want. And frankly, I got to tell you, funny is funny. And I think most Americans, even though you may say 42% of Americans are, identify themselves as conservative or Republican or whatever, they're not necessarily the political animals that you and I may be. They don't really care about the politicians. Politicians are funny to them on both sides, and they probably don't realize that the comedians are out of balance in who they're attacking. So as long as you don't look mean, as long as you don't look vicious, and frankly, that was Letterman's problem. He often looked mean, and I love Letterman. As long as you're not mean, I think they don't care who you're making fun of, just as long as it's funny.
Leo, late night comics to me are at their best when they're making fun of whoever's in power.
True.
You have someone in the White House, you have someone in control of Congress, you have a big-time celebrity that has a lot of fame and fortune. Those are targets that you can really go after. It's not as funny if you're picking on the people who are out of power, is it?
No, I think you go after the people who are in power, as you correctly stated, but I share Scott's feelings 100%. Look, people who are political junkies are going to go to the source of information, their comedy, wherever they may want to. Internet, all this access. And look at radio. Let's just conservative radio. Talk radio is dominated by conservatives. Marketplace of ideas. Liberals fail on talk radio.
Except for Leo Terrell.
Except for Leo Terrell. I'm fair-minded. I am very fair-minded. I agree with Scott. But my point is this. Even late night, if they're not funny, they will fail. And I guarantee you, if there is a need for a conservative talk show host at night, there will be an opportunity by Fox to make that happen, if it's warranted.
Now, Jay Leno's been sacked twice now by NBC, and they had to bring him back because Conan O'Brien saw the ratings collapse when he became the host of The Tonight Show. Could you see a scenario where if everyone who's in a late night spot starts going after the people who are out of power and Red State America just turns off the boob tube after the local news at 11, could you see a scenario where Jay Leno comes back a third time, either at NBC or maybe at Fox or CNN or some other place?
I think that Leno is going to come back no matter what. I don't think it's going to rely on the ratings collapse of a Stephen Colbert. At the same time, you know, because now Leno can do whatever he wants. He can do it with where he's going to be able to be free to do his thing. So I think we're going to see Jay Leno again. The big issue here for Stephen Colbert, there's two things. One, he's never done a talk show as himself. But secondly, we also have 2 elections coming up. You know, the networks, they don't care. They don't seem to look at MSNBC to see how that theory failed about going after people you don't like politically or otherwise. And I think they are going to do that. I think they're setting it up. I think Lorne Michaels at NBC especially has a mission. They have an agenda. They think the networks still at this point are too big to fail, or maybe Obama will bail them out again. So, you know, he may be funny. I'm not so sure he'll be funny. But look, Conan O'Brien's a funny guy, too. And it didn't work because Americans, and especially even now with Democrats, it's one thing for Red America to be upset, but Democrats are also have gotten mad. A lot of people feel like they were hoodwinked, and they're not going to, you know, they're tired of it. They do want to laugh, but they want a kind of a safe place to where politics isn't a part of it.
You know, Scott, one of the things that Stephen Colbert has going for him is he's a very charming guy. It's very difficult to dislike him. And he was campaigning on behalf of his sister, who ran for Congress against Mark Sanford in South Carolina. And even when he was openly campaigning for his sister, he still came off as being charming about it. And I want to play a clip for you of him campaigning for his sister and have you respond to it.
I hope she puts me on the poster committee. You know what? Okay, I got my poster board right here. I got my markers. That's the stuff, yeah. Put a little glue right there. A little glue right on there. Okay. Right there, a little bit of glitter right there. Right there, right there. I'm not. And there you go.
How about it, Scott?
Yeah, I think likability is a key to the success in this kind of a game. And depending on who Stephen Colbert turns out to really be, he gives all indications that he's a likable person. I really admire him, actually, for one of the things he said once when they asked him if he lets his kids watch his show. And he said, no, he doesn't. And they said, well, why not? And he said, because I never want my children to see their daddy saying something sincerely that he doesn't really mean. And I really admired him for saying that, because he's putting on an act. He's doing a part that he doesn't really believe. Now, the stuff he does believe is whacked, but I think he's going to be able to pull this off. I mean, he's a nice guy, and he's going to come across as a nice guy.
Colbert is a great singer. I've seen him on other acts. He's a great singer. He's an entertainer. He's a comedian. Devout religion that shouldn't be in play. He's a devout Catholic. So, I mean, this guy has a complete package. We're hooked on the Colbert Report, but this guy is multi-talented.
I can see it now. Leo, Ed McMahon, Terrell. Something's happening
well,
right now.
one problem. Leo is sober.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's
Colbert
is
a good guy. He's a good guy. Well, it's funny. It's funny. I agree.
Now, well, again, we agree that funny is funny. Americans will watch it. But Conan O'Brien, everybody also liked him. We already knew who he was. He had great success, and he's a likable guy, and it didn't work.
You know, there are people. Go ahead.
I disagree with that.
One counter about the attack on, Tammy slightly criticized Saturday Night Live during the most recent election, the 2008 election. Saturday Night Live helped Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin has a great relationship with NBC. Sarah Palin was on Jimmy Fallon the other day having a hilarious time.
And the Today Show. She's guest host.
So she is, I got news for you. Republicans like going on Saturday Night Live and on some of those late night shows.
Her relationship with NBC, though, only became good when she became not a player. Then it was safe, so they wanted the ratings she brought.
She's a lightning rod.
But the moment that she was not running for office, then it was fine.
She had a long-running feud with David Letterman when David Letterman was doing jokes about one of her kids.
Yeah.
And that, I think, hurt David Letterman with Red State America, and certainly with Sarah Palin.
Because it was mean, as your point earlier, because it was mean, and that's the difference.
Well, Stephen Colbert is already involved in a feud with someone on the right side of the political aisle. This time, it's Bill O'Reilly, who went on The View and attacked Stephen Colbert. Let's take a look at a clip of this feud.
Recently, Colbert mocked me on the subject of inequality. Only about 1 million people watch his late-night program at 11:30, but he is the darling of the far-left internet, which rhapsodizes over him.
Bill's right. For some reason, I know. Hey, folks, I'm not happy about it. For some reason, the far left internet loves me. I mean, I'm in all the hashtags.
That's funny.
So, Scott Ott, is this feud good for Colbert?
I think what shows that Colbert can be successful in this is what you just saw there, that hashtag cancel Colbert. That is self-deprecating humor. It takes the edge off. And I'll have to disagree with Tammy, because even though I thought that Conan was brilliant, he had an edge to him. He wasn't lovable, you know. He was no Jimmy Fallon. He wasn't that guy who's sort of everyman. I mean, you might have him over for dinner, but you're going to like make sure that the kids are out of the room at the time. If Colbert can actually be, if he can be the guy he is with his own children, I think he'll be successful with Middle America.
And, you know, I think the feud, it's possible, and a feud with O'Reilly, I think, can only help, because you've got cross-pollination of the audiences.
Yes.
O'Reilly's known for taking on other hosts. So this kind of elevates it. It reminds the Fox audience that this is happening. I don't see a downside to O'Reilly being mad at you.
All right. Well, we're going to move from the world of network television to the world of Netflix, because every week on After Hours, we pick someone who's the worst of the worst and deserves to be elevated to the level of our favorite truly rotten, evil, dastardly, conniving villain, the House of Cards' own Francis J. Underwood.
Everyone is fair game now, and the butchery begins.
Today's winner is a celebrity and TV personality who's long been the public face of the anti-vaccine movement, which attempts to convince parents not to vaccinate their children for dangerous diseases on the scientifically baseless rumor that vaccines cause autism. Our winner is almost single-handedly responsible for popularizing this message, saying, among other things, if you ask a parent of an autistic child if they want the measles or the autism, we will stand in line for the effing measles. So what are we seeing? Well, pricey Orange County, California, where this message has taken hold, is now the measles capital of the nation. But as bad as all of that is, it isn't what makes today's recipient worthy of the Underwood Award. What really moves our winner from the misguided to the downright conniving is the fact that she's penned an op-ed in the Chicago Sun-Times now claiming that she's in fact pro-vaccine and has been wrongly branded as anti-vaccine. Why the reversal? Because she's now up for a big job on The View. Barbara Walters is retiring. Whoopi Goldberg has indicated that she's not interested in the lead position. Joy Behar and Elizabeth Hasselbeck have recently left. And longtime entertainment reporter Mike Walker reports that our winner fancies herself as the next Queen Bee. But Barbara and ABC have expressed strong concerns about her controversial and wrong anti-vaccine advocacy. So presto changeo, she's now pro-vaccine. And if you haven't guessed it yet, Jenny McCarthy is today's proud recipient of the After Hours Underwood Award. Congratulations, Jenny. We
need to send her something so she can put it up on her mantle. I don't know if she would.
Hypocrite. Orange County, the breakout with measles is outrageous. And you're talking about toxins. What about she supports Botox and e-cigarettes? So it's so inconsistent. And if it's just a change because she wants a top job, she's not going to get it, because I'm sitting next to the lady who's going to get it. Tammy's going to be head of The View.
Yeah, thank you so much. I agree.
And, you know, Scott Ott may stop putting it on his TiVo if she takes over.
No, but
I heard that rumor.
You guys, but here's one of the issues here is that if she truly believed it was about the kids, what in God's name drives this woman? If she was really worried about vaccines, genuinely that it was hurting kids, I guess now she wants to afflict every kid with autism so she can get a job.
Right.
It's crazy talk.
Crazy talk.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Tammy Bruce. You can get her online at tammybruce.com, Leo Terrell, clearthecourt.com, and our very own Scott Ott, whose political satire books are available at Amazon.com. If you'd like to comment on today's show, you can do so in the comment section below. For After Hours, I'm John Phillips. Thanks for watching.